Hello and welcome back. In case you weren't aware, Operation Plague Star has hit, and it's certainly quite interesting, especially if you've got a dancing ember that makes horrible puns all the fucking time. That's right, PW, I'm looking at you. Anyway, I would quickly go into the way in which I have done this. It came from some pretty decent advice from the people in the Discord who have tested this. Basically, I myself will head towards the first location, and the partner I am with, in this case it's the pun wizard, as I'm calling him, is going to make his way to what is at least 9 times out of 10 the second location, which is at best about 2,000 meters away all the frigging time, from the vial, the toxic vial, to where you need to extract it or whatever. They're always about 2,000 meters from each other. So we send one person there and then another person to go pick up the vial. And the reason we're sending one person there is that when you pick up the vial and it then goes to stage 2 of this quest, it forces the extractor to be in a different location, because it won't spawn where there is a player close by. This doesn't always work, but it does seem to be at least a contributing factor to hopefully getting a lot less walking involved. And luckily for the video I have here, it has in fact worked, which is pretty darn good for a bit of show and tell. Now, the basic team composition that I have gone for is a Nova using max range with her wormhole augment, just so you can zoom around a lot quicker, because you will have the most ground to cover out of all of them, because you have to make your way from the pickup point with the vial to the extraction point, or whatever you want to call it, the vial extraction, where you can even put in your Infested Catalyst or your Eidolon Felix's thing, or whatever it's bloody called. A Ember with a World on Fire build is also very useful, one for just damage as well as keeping the enemies off of the drone, which you will have to escort, as that is the 3rd stage, as well as doing a good bit of damage on the 4th stage, where it's basically just an exterminate up to 100%. The 3rd frame is a Banshee, which does make the defensive part, where you've got to wait for the toxin extracting thing to do its business, very useful, as well as the 4th part, where again you have to kill 100% of the available enemies. The final frame is largely up to you. I do suggest a tank, just in case there is an overwhelming amount of damage coming your way, or if some numpty decides to stand on the boil, which will kill you pretty darn bloody quick. A Necros with a shadow build is also quite useful, due to 1, desecrate, more resources, can't argue with that, as well as the shadows also being able to do some extra damage and try to keep the incoming damage off of you. It goes more towards the shadows. As you enter the plains, the vial toxin extraction, where you get the vial of toxin from, should be roughly 1,200 meters to your right. This is not guaranteed, it obviously chops and changes. Lately I've been getting a few that are pretty much 1,400 meters directly in front of me, so it does change quite often, but not too much so that it would completely ruin the game plan. The actual extraction point, where you condense the poison, or you basically got to do a little defense mission, is about 1,200 meters to your left from where you enter the plains. Beyond that, the actual point in where you collect the drone, and that will make its mad little rush towards the boil, seems to be the one that changes location the most, and this can be a bit annoying. I've had ones where it's got to travel 1,800 meters to the boil, which is a nightmare, and I have had other missions where it's got to travel 250 meters. to the boil. So you can sort of take that as you will. This is where an ember does come in handy, because you can literally just walk and the ember's world on fire will just take care of the enemies, pure and simple. Now, once you actually get to the boil, it is near enough an exterminate. You will start at 0%, and judge from what I've seen, judging by how many people you've got in your squad, each kill will be between 1% or 4%. I'm not sure if this has changed recently at all. There's recently been a few hot fixes as well, and I've been doing it in a squad of between 2 people, like I'm showing here, or 4 people. Now, once you've done all of that, you basically just have to run out, and this is another one where the Nova comes in handy. You can just teleport straight to the exit, so it does keep the fluidity of the game moving a bit quicker, so you can bash them out pretty quick. It's not a particularly strenuous mission. Most of it comes down to the defense area part of the actual operation, because it's for about 2.5 minutes that you have to hold position for. It's not too long, but this does slow you down, as well as the exterminate part at the end, depending on how quickly you can kill them. The quickest we've actually done that part is about 20 seconds. This was using a Banshee, and the slowest we've done it is about 10 minutes, because we had an Atlas who wanted to run around and punch things, which is really annoying. The overall process is pretty dull, boring. It's not a difficult mission at all. That's like level 30 enemies at max, so there's nothing you shouldn't really be able to handle at any sort of mission type or frame. It's darn easy. It's just a bit dull, to be honest. I think this is probably the least engaging operation we've had, but to be fair, it is also the first operation we have that takes place in the plains of Eidolon, as well as some of the rewards do look pretty darn awesome. We can literally blast all of our standing on Cetus Wisp's Former. There is quite a decent amount of rewards. The process itself is also pretty darn grindy. It's a 4-stage mission that covers at best easily 3,000 meters over the plains. That's quite a lot of walk time or teleport time or fly time. It's quite lengthy itself, so I've tried to devise a way in which we can just speed up this overall process. I'm not sure if it has worked, so if you're watching this, please do let me know if you're willing to try this, if it's worked for you as well. But like I said, it's quite grindy. At base, you get 1,000 standing per run, which, all things considered, isn't actually too bad when you think about that. There is actually no cap. There's no daily cap, so you can just keep grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding until you get what you want. If you drop off for Eidolon Phylaxis in the pod part area where you have to defend it, I keep forgetting what these bloody things are called, but screw it, I don't care. You can double that to 2,000 per run. Your common rewards really are Kuva and Augur Message, so do be prepared to get a metric fuck ton of those. Of course, Kuva is always appreciated, but it only comes in bundles of 100. So if you're lucky, you can get 400 if you're lucky, or if you're unlucky, you can get 4 Augur Message. You have no idea how many Augur Messages I have right now. Like, seriously, it makes ammo case look like a noob. But the overall, it's an easy mission, to be honest. It's just long, it's pretty dull, it's not too engaging. You can just take something like an Ember or a Banshee and just completely cheese your whole way through it. The Nova definitely helps when covering the long distance. A Zephyr is also pretty useful, or a Speed Vault if you can stand them. There's many ways that you can completely cheese this. I'm finding the Ember really useful for the damage dealing, as well as the Nova really useful for just getting around. But that's just me. You guys can check out what you want, see how you like it. If you don't like it, maybe you can find another one, another team composition that will help speed this up, make it quite a bit easy. Not that it's not easy really at all. It's like it's drab. It really is really quite boring. It's slow and almost degrading. I kind of wish that for each stage you went up within the operation standing, the mission progressed to become a little bit more difficult. Maybe it changed it up a little bit. You had to do 2 toxin vials rather than just the 1. But these are just nitpicky things. It's an easy operation. There's no reason that anyone can't get the max amount of standing in this and get all the rewards that the operation has. It is pretty darn simple. Right, once you have the standing you want, when you go up to the first level, I do recommend you get the blueprint for the Eidolon Phalanxis. Just head to Nakak. Personally, I'm quite worried about there as a child wandering around with infested weapon parts. That's pretty darn dangerous if you ask me, but still. As well as that, she has the emblem, Cetus Swift's 2 rare gems, which you can completely spam out, Mercury liver, Norg brains, and Cuthhole tendrils, which are the 3 rare fish parts, which you can completely blow all of your standing on, which I'll be intending in doing. Fulmination as well as Sacrifice format, as I said. You got the Eidolon Phalanxis blueprint, Snipertron blueprint, the Ether daggers, as well as 2 augments for the Zals, and then 4 Zor parts. I'm very, very interested in this scythe. I do love me some scythe, and it does viral damage. I can't wait to see what viral damage. Oh my god, love it. But yeah, so they are your rewards. Anyway, that is me. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been of some use, and I'll see you pretty darn soon. Ta-ra!